What does it mean when somebody isn't replying to your messages? You're reaching out to professional network, personal friends, even family, and they don't respond to your messages. Well, in today's age, when we are being bombarded with information, whether it's emails and text messages and flashing lights on screens, or even just watching media, if we get involved in television and we watch the news, just those messages, constant stream, your message just added more stress to their plate, especially if you're not really close. If you're just kind of professional network and you're looking for somebody to help you maybe get into your next gig, or you're looking for somebody to help you out on a project, or you're looking for a client, maybe you're a bit in business and you're trying to find some clients and nobody seems to be responding. Well, the number one reason is that they get stressed. You think about yourself, you get these messages from people, and how do you feel when someone's messaging you and you don't respond? I make a policy of responding to as many people as I possibly can. And sometimes it might be a few days because if I'm traveling or I'm at a conference, then I don't get the opportunity to do that. But there's a number of reasons in addition to that level of stress that may be going on. I want to share those with you so you get a chance to document this and really understand, why don't people reply to me? And that's important if you're especially looking for the next gig, especially if you're looking for clients, especially if you're looking for somebody inside the organization to help you. You want to know what's going on. So the number one is, they may have a genuine issue with you. Now, this is a low rationale. This is a low reason for somebody not to reply with you. It's very uncommon for somebody to have a genuine issue with you. In fact, of the thousands of messages I've had over the last year, one person told me, I have a genuine issue with you. And that tells a lot about who she was, right? Because she was able to just say, hey, I don't like the way you did this. I don't like the way you treated me. I don't like the way you made me felt. I don't like the way you behaved. I don't even know how I was the one who suffered and you didn't. So there was lots of things going on inside of that message. That's an important thing to understand, is that if somebody does have a genuine thing to say to you because they're genuinely distressed or have an issue with you, if they're human, they're going to tell you, because you've opened up the opportunity for them to say to you, hey, you're not my cup of tea. So that's kind of what the first one. The second reason why people don't respond to you is because when they get the message, they are already doing something else. They're already thinking about something else. And in their mind, this is what happened. I'm going to think about my response. And it may be days for them not to respond. And so sometimes we give up too soon if we send a text message and we don't get a response quickly. We sometimes think, I wonder why they didn't reply to me. And I message with clients and prospects all the time, and I'm always asking them, are you okay? And it might be 4 or 5 days before they reply. And normally it's just because of those things I said. I'm adding more stress. They're already too busy. They're thinking about what to say to me. They're thinking about how to reply. So that's really important that you understand that. Now, while they're thinking about what to reply, is it possible that they might forget? And how often have you heard this? I genuinely forgot to message you back. Sometimes they'll even start typing the message and put it down before they send, and then come back to it and say, I already started typing this, but I didn't send it. I can't believe I didn't send it. And that happens too. That is a real thing. Sometimes be cynical about that and go, oh yeah, pull the other one. I'm sure there were other things that are going on for you. Third, they may not know what to say to you. So they don't reply, not because they're not interested in you, not because they genuinely don't care about you, not because what you're saying to them is upsetting them. They just don't have a response. And is this okay? I just think it's common now because of the amount of messaging and the amount of noise going on in our lives. Is it okay not to reply to everything? Well, if it's coming cold, yeah. If it's warm and you kind of, these are people I know, these are, maybe you would expect a response. And I think sometimes, if this will give you some advice, if you do think you should respond, but you don't know what to say, you can say things like, I'm not familiar, so I don't know how to respond to this. And just say what you're thinking. I don't know how to respond to this message, so that's why I didn't. And people will appreciate you for that. Another reason people aren't messaging back, emails. Maybe you've put a job application in, maybe you've contacted an HR recruiter. That person may not be very good in writing. So what they need from you is a phone call. And I'm always shocked when I talk to people who are looking for new roles, that they tell me that they sent an email, that they tell me they connected with somebody on LinkedIn, that they tell me that they sent several messages, and I ask them, how many times did you phone? And they never did. And I said, you didn't phone? If you phone and leave a voicemail, that's another step. Another one I say to people is, did you go to the office? Now, sometimes if it's national, it's a bit difficult to go from California to New York and knock on a door. But if this company, this person, this place is close, what is stopping you going to knock on the door? Nothing. We just forget about that because we're consumed by this online world and that we need to communicate electronically. And I see memes and jokes about, people who phone you and you don't pick up. If they text you, you'll reply. I say, sometimes I've phoned friends of mine and they've said to me, what do you think you are doing phoning me? And they'll reply to a text. Yeah, next time, just text me. That's not a real friend. Come on, real friends pick the phone up. They can see your name, it's on the screen. If they want to talk to you, they will. If they're not going to talk to you, there's something else going on. It may be time for you to move away from that friend, start changing your circle. And I have done that, believe me. Yeah, there is that. They may not be interested. And the other thing is, remember, if somebody doesn't respond to you, there's a really good chance that it says a lot more about them than it does about you. This was kind of the core message here that I wanted to share with you. I make a habit of responding to as many people as I possibly can. Now, am I 100%? No. I can't do everybody because it's literally 20, 30,000 people now that are in my sphere, the immediate sphere. And so being able to communicate with every single one of them in multiple time zones all around the world, like 40 plus countries now, it's very difficult to reply to every single one. But I do endeavor to reply to every single one. And I do spend a lot of time messaging, and I'll be asked, my wife will say, what are you doing? And I'll say, I'm just replying to a message from somebody who appreciates what I did, or they're thanking me for something I gave to them, or they really like some of the content in my video, or that I made a difference to their day. I appreciate them for taking the time to type that, and I appreciate them for watching, and I appreciate them for supporting my work. I want to tell them that I love them. I want to tell them that they're delicious. I want to tell them they're just like you. And this ranges from people who are coming out of university and finding themselves in roles to people who are senior executives who will comment and say, I needed this today. Vice presidents, chief executive officers, C-suite executives. These are the people. So if you're not replying to somebody, you got to think about that yourself. Why am I not replying? It actually does say something about you. And I think there are underlying negative energetic vibrations in why you don't reply to people, especially if you know them. And at one point, you were really good buddies. And so that might be something to do with your hurt, some anger, maybe some shame that you're carrying that's actually got nothing to do. So if you're the one sending the message and people don't reply to you, it could be something going on there. So what can we do about this? And I'm talking a little bit longer. I wanted to make sure that I gave you a longer video today. First thing we can do is always allow time for a response. Like I told you, it might be days before a client responds to me. It might be strange, right? You message your client, how are you doing? Following up on this exercise. Just want to make sure I'm accountable to you. If I let you off, I let you down. So I say that. And it might be 4 or 5 days before I hear anything from them. It's just because they're busy, they're on another project, they've got work to do. I am not their number one priority. Most of these people have families, they've got other things going on. So you must do the same. Allow time for a response. I think that's really important. If you get no response after 2 or 3 engagements, there's a really good chance your message was off. And I am guilty of this. Some of my best friends and best professional network colleagues have told me, your message stinks. And you didn't give it to me in the way that it would ever be received positively. I really didn't like it. You annoyed me, so I didn't respond to you. So clarity in the message, clarification of the message is really important too. I think that's important. The other thing you can do is change the subject. Sometimes people won't reply because the subject you've given them is not of interest right now, and changing the subject often looks like finding out more about them, speaking to them. I noticed you didn't reply to me. I just want to make sure, are you okay? Is everything okay with you? And that's another way to then connect with them so you get an opportunity so they will reply. So this is a way you can do that. Next one is follow-up. I tell all my clients, hey, minimum 3 times follow-up. And anytime you hear no from anyone, that's the beginning of the conversation. That's the beginning of the negotiation. That's the beginning of something different. Don't take no and walk away. When you hear no, change your message. I saw a wonderful video by Sylvester Stallone. He was sitting on a dock talking about this. And if you listen to the number of times he did not listen to the word no, and you wonder why he's so successful and why he's had this incredible career built around one franchise, but actually that franchise only happened because of something he did earlier with a gentleman by the name of Woody Allen. You can go and look this video up and take a look at it. But he basically says, I didn't take no. I changed my approach. I changed my message. I changed the way I had the conversation, and I got the part. Last thing you can do if people are not replying to your messages, move on. They don't want you, they don't need you, I don't know what's going on. They've got some pain, they've got some sad. You've got too much important work to do. You can't be hanging around waiting on somebody's response. It's just not worth your time and your energy to wait or to question what is happening here. I think you've got to move on. So think about that as when you send messages and you're looking for project work, you're looking for a new client, maybe you're looking for your next role, you're looking for a job and nobody's replying to you. I've just given you a framework for thinking about how can you adjust your approach so that you get better results, so that more people talk to you. And by the way, the right people at the right time will always talk to you. They cannot wait to hear from you. In fact, sometimes they'll say to you, hey, I was thinking about you. I don't know what that is. Call that voodoo, call that universal energy. Is that God's work, putting people in our path? Yeah, sometimes they were thinking about you, and that's because they needed you in that moment, and then you showed up for them. So I wish you the best of luck with your messaging. Here's a little blueprint for you. If any of this resonates and you really like to dive into this for you more, and maybe you are trying to do some of those things, I would love to speak with you one-on-one so we can have an intro call, get to know each other, and promise I'll be able to give you a 3-step strategy that will take you to the next level. Cheers.